Hey, Tim Ryan here from Sprout Video. In real estate sales, success depends on the strength of your relationships. To learn how video helps, we met with our friend Joe Siciliano. He's the managing director for Compass Real Estate's Lincoln Park office in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. Joe reveals powerful ways video can transform your real estate marketing strategy. From building stronger community relationships to navigating tricky MLS rules, Joe shares marketing tips, creative distribution ideas, and proven ways to grow your business. Ready to learn some helpful tips? Watch and learn from an industry expert, Joe Siciliano. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tim. Appreciate it.
Do you remember your first real estate sale?
I used to do a lot of cold calling. This particular one, I had reached out to this guy, building I called him about originally. He was not interested, but he wanted to buy the building next door to that building that he owned in Clybourne. And I put together this transaction, this deal off market. It's very satisfying, no question.
35 years later, you're now at Compass, which is a large real estate firm.
We are the largest brokerage by volume sales in the country.
Wow. And so let's talk about your role at Compass. What do you do and what's your day-to-day like?
So managing broker of record is the official title. We're responsible for making sure our independent contractor agents are doing their business in a compliant manner. Besides that, one of the biggest things that they do is help agents learn the business of helping people buy and sell houses. We have a really cool platform of tools that we make available to our agents. And for me, it's really part of my responsibility is to teach them how to use the tools to make their business and their day-to-day more efficient.
Are there any go-to tactics that you might prioritize for someone that maybe is new to the business?
Creating or developing relationships and nurturing those relationships for a long time. I live in a certain geographic neighborhood, or I'm a member of a certain school or community group or whatever. That's my focus of my business and my network. And the goal is to nurture those relationships, become the real estate expert for at least as many people as you can, and get business. Reach out to 5 people in your sphere of influence. Reach out. It could be a text, phone call, an email. Go into social media and sort of reverse social media. So if I follow you on your Facebook page or somebody's Instagram page and I see that you just took a trip to Hawaii and you're posting about it, reach out to 5 people directly, not through that same social media platform. You say, hey, Tim, I noticed that you had a great trip to Hawaii. What was your favorite part of it? So that's like, do that, 5 of those, and then write 5 personal notes. That's a very, very sort of simplified version of what it could be, but we absolutely try to provide those, again, especially for a newer agent. Do these things every day and then watch it multiply over the course of time.
Does video play a role in any of this relationship building or staying connected with people?
It absolutely does. And I was thinking about this before we got on. I did, video is over the course of, I don't know, last 10 to 15 years has become a very integral part of our business in lots of ways. Again, it goes back to this connection, making connections with people as best as you possibly can. The best way to do it is obviously face-to-face, but you can't get in front of as many people as you want and all those things. So what's the next best way? Well, a lot of agents use what we're doing now and just literally create a 2-minute video. Hey, Tim, it was really great to run into you at the Halloween parade last weekend. I haven't seen you forever. I just want to let you know how much I appreciate our past history of working together and how fun it was to see you over the weekend. Stay in touch. If you ever need anything, let me know. Nothing professional about it, super rudimentary. As long as it's truly authentic to me and you know me, it doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. If it's you, that's all that matters. You make sure it's important to do it, then worry about it being perfected, and you end up doing it a month from now. Do it. Make sure you do it, and then you'll figure it all out. I think that's the very simple version of video.
What are some of the most important considerations that you have to think about when it comes to using video for marketing properties and helping sell real estate?
If it syndicates from the multiple listing service, which actually feeds lots of the syndicated websites, Zillow, Redfin, Those are supposed to be these sort of generic whiteboard versions of it. I'm not even in a video of a home that I'm selling, at least through MLS. I'm not even supposed to have my picture in there at all. It's supposed to be completely generic. And our marketing team, certainly if they're the ones putting it out, they sort of police that, so to speak.
I'm trying to think of a workaround. So say you have 10 properties that you have for sale. Can you create your own website and list those properties there with photos and video tours and brand it any way you want? Is that a workaround?
Once you get into compass.com or Remix, whatever, you can get to your website. You can do almost whatever you want.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm trying to think of another question related to this around private content, so that something you don't necessarily want others to see. You have a home tour of like some CEO is selling his or her home in Hinsdale, and you have inside footage of this tour. Are there anything like that, or am I just
This is very interesting that you would say this. I'm learning something right now because this is amazing. This idea of private listings. If you hire me and sign a listing agreement with me to sell my house, the old rules were I must, as a member of the MLS, put that in the multiple listing service and share it with all the other brokers that are members of MLS within 24 hours. Your example for this, executive that wants to kind of keep it private, that doesn't want everybody knowing that their house is on the market. They don't want them necessarily knowing how much they're selling the house for. They don't necessarily want people poking around like whatever that might see it on some other website. And they said, I trust you, Joe, to market my home in an exclusive way. When they sign that listing agreement, that allows us to do what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We now have a private exclusive. You have to be connected to a Compass agent to get in there, because the rules now say, okay, you can do that private exclusive thing all day, but the moment you market that seller's house to the public at large,
mm-hmm.
now you are sort of taking advantage of this exclusivity. And after that moment, within 24 hours, you have to share it with the rest of the brokerage community. I can reach out to my personal sphere. I can sort of share it with whoever I want to share it with as a direct buyer client, and ultimately share it with other brokers that might have a buyer in the same market. It's kind of a long-winded answer, but you could share video, you could share pictures, you could do all that kind of stuff directly with potential clients. We're
getting to the practical tips for a real estate professional just starting with video.
Yep.
So if we think about video, what are some of the most critical elements for these people to think about to help them get good results from investing in video? Because it is an investment.
If you just want to start, sending messages, or that's maybe the next level is a video blog, like a vlog. If you're kind of doing that, that's sort of the next step up. It's better produced. It's coming out on a more regular basis. You're posting that to either your website or your social, and you're starting to share those things. I think some of the tips would be, again, still be authentic, but now you're trying to show either directly to people that you know, or maybe someone that catches this video online, that you are the expert. So maybe you're focusing on your niche. If your niche is horse farms, or lakefront communities near boating and things like that, you're gonna share a lot of videos, kind of not just because there's horses there, but you're an expert in maybe selling property that equestrians might be interested in, or whatever. Same with lakefront communities or boating communities, that kind of stuff. So start to show yourself in your niche, and then also maybe share, like, in without ramming it down people's throats, start to talk about things that show that you are an expert in the real estate business. Maybe it's like list, top 10 things to consider when looking at lakefront property. What's the most important thing to consider if you're considering buying a farmland out in the far suburbs? What are things to consider? So sort of like practical tips like that. And then again, as far as a tip go, be consistent. If you say, I'm going to drop, one video a week or one video a month or whatever, make sure you're doing that. Time block, make sure you're saying that out, be consistent, because it's not going to be instant results. It's going to be over the course of time. People start to pay attention to you, listen to what you have to say, You've hopefully caught their ear with whatever that niche is, or the way you present yourself, or the information that you present that they find is valuable. That's going to like endear them to you, so that when it comes time to make a decision to hire somebody to buy or sell a house, that you're the person. Show them like a day in the life of a real estate broker, edited properly, so that maybe it's a total of a 5-minute video, but it shows you throughout the day, what do you do all day? Or specifically, I just got hired by Mr. Ryan to sell his home. Now we're going to go through our checklist of things that we do for every one of our sellers. Follow me along. And then if you could do a really cool, professionally edited video of everything that you do, meeting the photographer, meeting the videographer, the collateral material, printed or otherwise, what does that look like? Staging, meeting contractors over there that might be painting and moving stuff around and doing that staging, whatever. All this stuff, like, wow. That's a lot of stuff that goes on. But if you do video, you can visualize sort of a fast-paced edited video that shows all these things that took me 3 days to do in like the form of five minutes. That would be pretty cool.
Everything you've mentioned around video to me feels like kind of building a brand. And so you've got find your niche, where are you an expert, be authentic, get creative, and then be consistent. Like if you're going to do it, commit to it. What are the tools that someone can use to do that?
At some point, it is very important that you acknowledge that you're not a professional photographer or editor or videographer or what have you. So be smart and outsource that. Have someone professionally that does it full time. Like, whether it costs $500 or $5,000, like don't pretend to be an expert, because you're not. Our own marketing department has a number of vendors that we know that have been vetted that we use quite a bit. Drone video is super huge now, especially on larger property where the drone flies actually into the house and cruises around the house. It's really, really cool to above the property and then showing where the property stands versus the rest of the landscape around the place. Obviously, I can't do that. And then video quality is super important. Again, even on the not so expensive homes, but especially in the luxury homes that are more expensive, the expectation of the seller is that it's going to look really, really, beautiful production-wise. The lighting has got to be good. Everything's got to be right. If I'm professional, my video needs to look professional. The ultimate buyer or seller client needs to look at me and say, oh, Joe's a professional. He's smart enough to hire someone. And there's a lot that goes into it. A hierarchy of, really, really good videographers and ones that'll do it for a lesser, just like any industry, that'll do it for cheaper, but you pay for it for the most part. What
are some creative distribution channels that an agent might use if they've invested in this really great series of videos that they're working on?
A lot of agents have a YouTube channel, but if you're putting it out there enough and you start to get a following, that's at least where your current videos and past videos can be sort of warehoused so people can access them. Instagram is pretty huge, so it's all about followers, and that stuff gets out there. For an old guy like me, I'm still surprised, but I'm done being naive. It is a big deal. People come in the next day and they say, I saw your post from your new listing, or I saw your post from the open house that you had 150 people. That was crazy. I couldn't believe that. So people do pay attention. So I do think those are, as you sort of build your brand, as long as that's cool, you'll start to get action there. But you're right. It's not. It's weird. Like you're never going to compete with like a realtor.com website from a just sheer number of views. But again, don't try to be all things to all people. There's a company that we work with that does literally their only business, I think, is building agent websites. You can hire a big firm to do this really amazing thing, or some of these other ones are a little bit more templated, but allows you to kind of build them. But and then you buy yourself a URL on GoDaddy or whatever, and you link it to there, and it can be very simple. But they'll spend a decent amount of money on the original build, making it look super professional, my brand, make it look like me, whatever that means, But there are a lot of agents that have their own website that will also house, here's my team, here's my philosophy, here's my testimonials, here's past sales that I've done, all those types of things, and maybe lifestyle things or whatever, promoting that through social or other manners, or just outright advertising. There's people that spend a decent amount of money on, bus benches and bus advertising and billboards and digital ads that they can put out there that might promote that website. That'll allow you to get some traffic there then.
Joe, thank you.
Hey, it's great to be with you. It's good to answer some questions. I'm glad I had answers.
You know what you're talking about. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And I can't wait to share this video with others so they can learn some tips and tricks about video marketing and marketing in general and helping grow their business as real estate agents. So much obliged.
Very good. Anytime, man. Happy to see you.
And cut.